One of you asked me personally, can I tune the flagship car, the Porsche 911 GT2 RS for S-Class? And in fairness, it was so hard. Absolute trash. Like, I cannot explain how bad this car is, considering it's a flagship car for Forza Motorsport 7. It's everywhere in the game. It's when you're tuning and you go to a different track to tune on that track, it puts you in that car. It's on the cover of the game. It's on the loading screen. It's everywhere, but it is rubbish. Why? I don't know why, but this car is capable of doing 6 minutes 40 around the Nürburgring, like actual time. Like, that's incredible. Like, that is incredible. It's one of the fastest production cars in the world. Yeah, on here it's terrible. It's terrible. Anyway, guys, I had a go. I hope you enjoyed that little opening clip there. I thought it was pretty boss. There's a few little clips here of me, to be fair, winning races. I was winning races by quite some distance as well, and it's very rewarding to win in this car. It's not got much grip. It's quite good on the brakes, in fairness. There's not much grip, so you do have to kind of work for your positions. I've managed to kind of tune it how I like it. It's fairly stable, but there's a lot of kickback on the oversteer, especially on the brakes during fast corners. We have a bit of a collision there, and in this race, in fairness, there was quite a lot of GT40s like the old ones, and there was a lot of, well, my back end was absolutely battered by the end of the race. So we're coming around this long right sweeping corner. There's that Dodge Viper that I did overtake in the first clip. Please leave a like if you did like that overtake. Up the inside yet again with sheer power. And in fairness, I was actually thinking about going up the inside of BBR Steve in the OP40, but I managed to just sort of settle myself down, calm myself down, and it's the 7 laps of this race. Why try rush into things? So do or die overtake there by the Viper, trying to get me back, but to no avail. Straight up the back end again at the GT40, and I'm looking for a way past. I'm looking for a way past because it's got the legs up to about 140, 150 mile an hour, and then that's when the power, sheer speed of this car, it's rapid down the straight, to be fair. That's one of its perks. It is quick down the straight, and it does accelerate quite quickly, which for tracks like this it's not really the best for, but tracks like Road America, the long version of the Road Atlanta, Sebring, things like that, it might be quite competitive to a point where if you're racing against people like JSR John, me, these other decent racers and tuners, then you might struggle to keep up with them in all honesty. But if you do run in a lobby that's not amazing, it's like an average lobby, you can hop in this and you can have some real fun, especially if you're an acquainting driver. You can do things like this, pop it up the inside of an OP40, 6.3 or 6.4 braking or whatever it is. Admittedly, it just powers past, but it's the fun of just absolutely just embarrassing people sometimes. Going up the inside with this, overtaking Vipers on the brakes, and it's like I say, it's a fun car to drive. I really enjoyed it, in fairness. So yeah, going into this right-hander yet again, this is where I seem to make up a lot of time on that OP40. I don't know whether he's running traction control, I don't know whether he can't get the power down, but I managed to bring the car level to him, and I was thinking about braking even later, but I just didn't want to risk it. I was still learning the car, in fairness. This was only I think this was the second race, so I was still learning the car, still learning how deep and how hard I can actually push the car, especially on the brakes. As you can see here, boys, going over that bump there, it's absolutely sound. Doesn't really kick out too much, but for me, like I say, I like to do a lot of rear wheel steering. I find it's quicker to have more grip at the front than it is at the rear, because at the end of the day I can control the rear with the throttle, even the brakes in a sense, especially with this game. Whereas the front, if it's on the steering, there's literally nothing that you can do. The car's got no grip at the front end, which is where the turning is. So we're trying to look again for another way up the inside, hopefully of BBR Jester. in the GT40, and again, you know, I'm up on my time, and again, I'm catching him so much on that right corner. I don't know what it is, whether it's a flaw in his setup or what, but this car seems to excel, especially against these cars, around that long right sweeping corner. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, going forward, I need to try and like use that in my arsenal, get that, and you know, exploit it. Just try and get up as close as I can, going around that right hand corner, which will do me nicely, because as soon as we get to about 150, 160 mile an hour, I can power past him. You know, I've got the legs on him at that speed. But coming out of tight corners like this, you know, he just flies, the grip, and it just goes. So I've got to bear that in mind, you know, when I'm racing. So we flick it left here, and obviously we're going to flick it right here. I see he's caught the grass there, and I'm thinking I'm going to sneak up the inside there. I thought better of it, because, you know, we're on this corner. I'm trying to keep as close as I can to him as possible, and as you can see, I was literally within about 15 feet. Look at that, straight, full throttle, all the way around, up the inside, and I'm past him now. And look, there's not many cars that car, you know, that OP40 can be outdone by, especially acceleration wise. And, you know, this did it. You know, even though it weighs nearly 3,200 pounds, it still put the power down, and was sound. And that's pretty much the, you know, the race. I pulled away, set some quick laps, and yeah, that was it. So we cut to a different race now. This is Sonomo, and just to prove to you that I am human, look, you know, it happens to us all. We all make stupid mistakes and noob moves and silly little things like that. But for me, it actually made for a better race. You know, I did finish second, but I was able to, you know, overtake all the boys that, you know, got past me, bar obviously first place. 1 or 2 laps more, I probably would have had first, but, you know, it is what it is. We all cock up sometimes, and you just got to face it. So, you know, just because you make more mistakes than me doesn't mean that, you know, you're not getting anywhere with progress or anything like that. Just knuckle down, keep going, and you'll be absolutely fine. So we've got a GT2 RS in front of me. This was a TX3 Shelby tune. Speaking of which, I was doing a race on here after this one, which I find a bit suspicious, to be fair. My fastest lap time, you know, on the short version of this. So you skip all this like right-hander and all these left-handers. This bit, it's all skipped out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really, really short one. I was absolutely gunning with this car, absolutely gunning. Smashed every single line perfectly, and only managed to do I think it was a 114.2, I think it was. TX3 Shelby, I think it was, did a 111 with manual gears. So I don't know if that's a glitch. I don't know if that's some form of mod or what. But, you know, I was going guns out all blazing. Did a 114. He did a 111 in that. So I find that a bit fishy. But tune your setups here now, boys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You know, tell me what cars you want to get tuned in the next video, and if, you know, if it's decent and I can have fun with it like this, you know, bang, it's going straight up on YouTube. I've been helping some boys out who've been commenting on videos saying that they need a car tune. I think it was a 912 Porsche. Helps for I think his name was Tim. So, you know, he said that he gave me some good feedback on that, saying it was sound, saying it was working perfectly for him, and, you know, that's what this channel's here for, boys. So if you do feel that the car oversteer is a bit too much for you, all I can kind of recommend is soften the rear suspension. Soften the rear source, maybe the anti-roll bars too, only slightly though, especially with the anti-roll bars, go a bit gentle on them. It'll just help keep that back end in shape for you. Weird setting braking force, 53% to the front. I know it's, again, just to try and keep it in line. So yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, guys, and I will see you in the next one.